legendary axe was very interesting for its time. The game stars Gogan, a caveman wearing nothing but an animal skin around his groin. The plotline is your typical damsel in distress story. You must save your girlfriend, Flare. She's been captured by the half-beast Lord Jagu to be sacrificed. In order to stop Jagu, Gogan receives a spiritually powerful legendary axe by the village elders so he can take down Jagu. When you start your adventure, you guide Gogan across a lush jungle landscape. Right after the initial encounter, where you fall into a pit and face a giant spider, you gain a power-up that allows you to charge your axe. Your axe charges as long as you're not using it and resets whenever you attack. Naturally, the longer you allow it to charge, the more damage it does when you hit an enemy. It lends a bit of strategy to the otherwise standard action, since you need to decide whether to hack away quickly but weakly, or to dodge enemies for a few seconds while your axe powers up. You can gain up to 4 power-ups that fit into the 4 holes in your axe, allowing your power meter to expand even further. When you have fully powered up your axe and use it on a full charge, the screen flashes while you hear a large explosion, and your poor opponent will usually die in one hit. The levels are also filled with little statues that offer bonuses. These statues normally contain extra health, more points, and power-ups. The levels are fairly diverse, from jungle landscapes to haunted caverns to mountaintops. The levels are referred to as zones, with 5 in total. Some of the levels are so large that they are divided into letters. The enemies in this game are a mixed bag. One minute you're fighting nomads and cavemen, and then the next minute you're taking on a disgruntled grizzly bear and a boulder that wants nothing more than to run you over. Whenever you kill an enemy, they perish in a fancy little explosion, which is strangely satisfying. Even though there are plenty of upsides, there are a fair share of downsides to this game. The first stage is easy, but the difficulty increases drastically over Zone 2. The designers really love pits and small platforms so much that they also include lots of enemies that are more than eager to knock you off. It doesn't help that you get thrown back pretty far when you get hit also. Another perk of this game is if you'd like to swing like Tarzan from vine to vine, you can do that here. But be careful, because this requires precise timing or else you'll fall to your death. Some of the enemies are hard to kill as well. You'll often fight 3 at once, and since they take multiple hits, or a single fully charged hit to kill, that's easy to get overwhelmed. During one annoying boss fight, you're fighting 2 boulders, and the only way to dodge them is by swinging on the vines. Since it's so hard to use the vines, you'll probably end up taking massive amounts of damage before winning the fight. The music here also fits the lush jungle landscape, and some of it is pretty catchy. Despite fitting the setting, the music suffers from a limited number of music tracks though, so you listen to the same tracks in this game over and over a lot. Like most early TurboGrafx-16 titles, the visuals are marginally better than a later gen 8-bit game, although the expanded color palette allows for more detailed backgrounds and sprites. Sometimes the designers went a bit overboard though. For example, when Gogan crosses the foreground, he gets lost in it, making him impossible to see, and it's easy to get hit by invisible enemies that are hiding there. Still, despite some of these frustrations, it's one of the better early Turbo titles and one of the more notable games on the system.